The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
You are listening to the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. 4 beer with a sports talk and a whole lot more. We are part of the Belly Up Sports Network. Listen in as Brent and Dave invite you to belly up to the bar with them to talk about everything in the world of sports, just like you would do at your favorite watering hole. It's sports, beer, and shenanigans, so belly up to the bar with us, grab a beverage, and let's get into it.
The 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, 4 beer sports talk and a whole lot more. Episode number 357, I think it is. I'm not even exactly sure. A little bit busy around here at the new world headquarters here for the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast on this December 21st, 2023. Tonight's show, as always, is brought to you by SeatGeek.com and the SeatGeek app. Use promo code 1420pod at SeatGeek.com today and save yourself $20 on your first purchase. Remember, we are part of the Belly Up Media Network. Go to bellyupsports.com for all their great articles and other podcasts that are out there during the holiday season. Make sure you just tune in a bunch and then talk to your friends and people that you're going home to see. Maybe put on the 1420 podcast. Thank you very much for everybody from here at 1420 World Headquarters for listening to the show, and happy holidays and a Merry Christmas to everybody across the board. Dave, we're getting closer. Thank you very much once again. Gentle Giant Delivery came and saved the day, getting the couch out from the old 1420 World Headquarters. She was a bit of a struggle. She was a bit of a headache. The little nick we got in the wall, she's all fixed up, ready to go. Just needs a little bit of paint, so that one's going to go away. Thank you very much once again, Dave, for helping us out yesterday, because I don't know how we got that thing down there, me and Deanne, a couple, 3-4 years ago, whatever it was. I'm surprised we stayed together after that, because there was some swearing. You were a level-headed guy, so you've done it a time or two, but thanks very much for helping us out yesterday, because, if it was me and Deanne, I'm fairly certain I wouldn't be sitting here right now.
Absolutely my pleasure. You're a friend, and you don't ask for much outside the podcast contributions, and even then it's always been my pleasure to be there to help, and what are friends for. That was a devil of a couch though. Like I don't know how you guys got it in there, like, but aside from going down as opposed to up. So
gravity helped us, I think, on when we took it downstairs, obviously. Yeah, one of those.
Yeah, because that second piece, it was like, this gotta go, like push, and then I do feel bad about putting that. It was a small wound, but it was deep. And
it was a deep wound. The first cut is the deepest.
And that was on piece 2. I thought we had it figured out. It took us a bit on number 1, and number 2 took us longer. It was a different angle. Whatever it was, I'm glad it was out, and I'm glad I could help. And I'm there for you, because you can't help your friends. Who can you help?
It was everything's going good now. I mean, we're moving in now. It's the unpacking stage, and I let the producer go upstairs, and she's in her glory, putting things and organizing. And this goes here and that goes there. And it's like, all right, just show me where the coffee cups are tomorrow, and we're good to go. A few more things to move back and forth, but things are going all right. There wasn't many.
So are you in the basement right now, or are you upstairs?
I'm in the basement right now, the infancies of the new Yankee Tavern North. I don't have anything up yet. Just kind of the lay of the land. I'm going to get things set up tomorrow before the family gets here. So I'm downstairs. This is kind of where I'm probably going to hang my hat most of the time. Very spacious, very, very big area here. So it should be a lot of fun getting this all set up. Once it's all laid out, probably have a shaker. And I have because I actually know who one of my neighbors was. It's kind of a nice deal. I didn't know. I know him quite well from baseball for a long time, and his wife knocked on the door when I was away, and it turns out Chad Layton, a baseball guy that I've known from in the area for a long time, he's my next door neighbor. Maybe it should be an interesting little gathering once we finally meet, maybe hoist a beer or two in later on in life. So should be good.
Well, he's there now, so it's nice to have friends and acquaintances. And Lethbridge is a fairly small city. Everybody knows everybody, like 4 degrees of separation. I'd be surprised if it was even that much. Everybody's going to know somebody. And
Yeah,
it's kind of neat to have.
Whether he likes anybody is a different thing. Whether he knows everybody is another thing.
Yeah, now you can't talk behind their back, anyways.
Yeah.
Like,
son of a bitch!
they'll figure it out.
Neighbor, son of a bitch! Fuck's sakes, what's one of those things? Dave, the holiday season is coming around. It's right around the corner here. Everybody's busy. Sports are still going on. Lots going on in the world of sports. We'll start with the NHL tonight. And I was listening to something driving back and forth today, packing and unpacking and everything else. But the Washington Capitals have themselves a predicament. Everybody expect them to be not be very good, and you included, and me included when we talked about it earlier on. You're not an Ovechkin apologist by any means, which is fine. The guy's probably the greatest goal scorer of all time. Just the numbers he's put up throughout his career speak volumes, obviously. But he's hooked himself up with Putin there a little bit, so let's not get too crazy during the holiday season about that kind of stuff. But all of a sudden, the Washington Capitals have a decent hockey team. They're only 3 points out of a playoff spot in the tough Eastern Division or Eastern Conference. They have a shot, and they have a team there with Alex Ovechkin only has 5 goals in the season. Everybody knows he's going for that 895 goals to pass Gretzky, but everybody thought maybe he'd get it done by this time next season. Maybe they could say thanks, bye, see you to Ovi. But they got a real problem there. Like, he's got 5 goals, and he's getting a lot of power play time with a rookie head coach. It's with Spencer Carberry's his name. Jesus, that's tough because let's just say if that Ovechkin wasn't getting first power play minutes and being out there for 2 minutes every power play, they might not be 3 points out of a playoff spot. They might be 3 points up on a playoff spot. What's your thoughts on that, Dave? And is it time to maybe for Carberry to first? What's your thoughts on that before we go next up?
I love it. I fucking love it. Like, I've never liked Ovechkin. He's a one-trick pony. Back in his day, he was exciting to watch because he is a physical specimen. He is. He skates so fast. His shot is so hard. And it wasn't like he was a physical player, but he wasn't afraid of physical play. And so throughout his 20s and 30s, from when he got into the league to 4 years ago, he was a dynamic and fun highlight player to watch.
Yeah.
But now, he doesn't have his favorite setup man of all time, in Backstrom. He's retired for, I think, back surgery or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but I think you're right. He's not back, and that was his number one pony. He was Curry to Gretzky, right? That was Ovechkin's Curry, and he's so his crutch isn't there. He has no faces anymore. And I think once you get past the age of 36, 37, it's about desire and work. And when I say work, I mean off ice work, because Father Time is undefeated, right? He's always going to come for you. And if you're not willing to or able, and then even if you are willing and able, still he's not going to be as fast. And everybody else, the game is faster now than when he got into the league. So these old tricks he did to find his sweet spot, setting up on the hash mark for that 1T clopper, he can't get there as fast, and other people know that one trick. And they're fast enough to get
it only took 17 years to figure it out, but whatever. It's one of those things.
But now he's lost his step, right? So he can't get there first. They know it. They know it. And he doesn't have someone like Backstrom who knows all his tendencies, knows where he's going to be. He's unfamiliar with his line mates. And it ain't that easy anymore. And I fucking love this. I love the fact that he's only scored 5 goals in 20 games this year.
29 games, yeah.
They're 30 games.
5 goals.
5 goals, and he's
they played tonight.
Away.
Yeah, so yeah.
And
the thing is, and if he was doing if the team was doing poorly, and he was doing poorly, this wouldn't be news because everyone expected the Capitals to be bad. But this team's doing well, and with a rookie coach and an owner who's thinking about moving across the Potomac over to Virginia. So there is some juice to this hockey team, and with Ovechkin doing poorly on a team that's doing well, you got to have a little, because hockey players now, they want to get paid, right? And they might get a little envious, and like they're like, okay, like I'm in my free agent year. I should name player X. Jake Winters is a second line winger for the Capitals, and all of a sudden he's like, okay, I'm on my second year deep, my second deal here. I'm not getting a power play time because Ovechkin's getting nothing with 5 fucking goals. He's not too slow. He's just not as effective as he used to be. I need to start playing a little bit here so I can pad my stats and do something here, because that's what, at the end of the day, that's what happens in National Hockey League. If you're not being seen or not playing enough, your contract next year isn't as big. There's got to be a little bit of a talk around the dressing room, like, why the fuck is that guy in the power play all the time? Like why? Like, yeah, he's an all-timer, but he eventually, like you said, Father Time takes over. And you look at Gretzky knew when to leave. He did. Gretzky would be the first one to say, I quit because I just wasn't good enough anymore. I couldn't do it anymore. And Ovechkin has this situation where he's just, because 5 goals is 5 goals. Like, if you're one trick pony who's just scoring goals forever, and it's I don't want to say it's over, because all of a sudden he could pot 10 the next week and a half because he's done it before, but maybe those days are behind him. And now you got a team that's doing. If a team was doing shitty, who cares? But now you got a team that's doing well. What do you do? And does this coach, this Carberry character who's new to the league, first time NHL coach, did the owner say you have to play him? Or
of course they see that, because all
of a sudden you're selling T-shirts, which is supposed to be this time next year, not 3 years from now, because that's the way it's looking right now. It's like it could be a long time, because I think Ovi's going to stick around until he gets the record, but it could be at this pace, it could be 2030. Seriously.
Well, that's the thing. So, well, and not only that, like, so he's making 9.5 this year, and then 9.5 for 2 more years after this. Right. So that money's not going away. Like, you can't buy that out unless he decides to retire and says, like, I just can't, I'm not going to fucking get this record. I'm not. We all thought I was, but like, I just don't have the desire. And maybe like he did play physical, and all those bumps and bruises when you were 28, 29 start manifesting themselves 10, 15 years later, when you're still trying to play the same style, but you just don't have the same motor, right? Like a 1957 Chevy is a nice looking vehicle, but it ain't going to fucking beat the 2000 model of the Camaro.
It is, yeah.
Right. Like, it is just simply like technology and thing. Like, and now he's a good, I don't even know if he's a good looking car at the car show anymore. You can shine him up, put him out there for meet and greets with the corporate sponsors. But at the end of the day, like, his remaining $23 million or whatever it is, that's not value for the club anymore. And that's become rapidly apparent. Like, I don't know how he gets this record unless he finds a gear, because he had, I want to say it was
scoring is up.
Yeah, it was a month ago.
Like, scoring is up. It's not like it was fucking when he first started back in the early 2000s there, where scoring was down quite a bit. They were still on the leg of the left wing lock and the neutral zone trap and all that crap when it got going. And like, you have a guy right now who just isn't producing at the age of 30, whatever he is. Like Crosby's still flying, right? Like, Crosby's still going, the will to win and everything else. And Crosby's like, since Ovechkin got that cup, and they finally got that one, and good for them. Like, it seems like, well, I got my cup, and now I'm going to get this record. And well, maybe now you're not. In fact, right now you're not. You're just not. At this pace, you're not going to get it. And if there was a different like when this Carberry guy took the job, this new head coach, I don't know where he was, if he was their minor league guy or whatever it was, but is there a situation where there was a meeting between the owners and the GM and this new coach? Okay, we have to get Ovechkin to get this record. That's our next step. That's the next step in what we want to do with our franchise, because then they can sell, like I said, they can sell the T-shirts, they can sell the Ovi watch, and on it goes, right? And then we have a contract on this guy, and so did they have a patsy in this Carberry saying, okay, yeah, I'll play him, I guess, but you can't fire me. Is that the caveat? Did he go to Ted Leon, since the owner, and say, okay, I'll take the job, but you can't fire me if we don't win? Because if we keep losing and the power play isn't working and on, this ain't me. This is on you. I will take the job, but I'm not going to, because there was a lot of coaches available. There's a coach available right now that had some tenure, didn't know what they're doing. Did every coach say, well, I'm not taking that if I got to play Ovechkin fucking 30, 25 minutes a night and first power play minutes all the time, I'm not taking this job. There's no way I'm taking this job. So I'm going to get fired a month and a half in.
That's an interesting premise that you posit there, is that, what is the expectations from the coach? We're on the downswing and everybody's clear. We got a very young team except for Ovi, and I don't know. I honestly don't know.
TJ Oshie's there still, and
with like some decent players, but the intellectual honesty was like, we a fringe playoff team if Ovi goes off and scores 30 again, right?
Now they're winning. They're winning with him with 5.
And then, so now if you're the boss, Ted owns this, so you say, fuck, we got to get Ovi more goals. He goes, well, people are coming to the game for Ovi, but they're actually staying because it's a successful team. Like if they were sucking and on the bottom of the standings, then that might affect the attendance. But now people are coming to see Ovi, but staying because this is a young, exciting team that's playing well. So, what's important? Are the asses in the seats because they want to see Ovechkin score a goal? Because as this year has progressed, that's probably not going to happen unless there's an empty netter. Like when the Caps are up 3-2 with a minute left, then Ovi's on the ice. He only has 5 goals, but 2 of those are empty netters. So they're doing everything they can to get that fucker that record
with lots of power play time, and that's the kicker.
Right.
I heard that on the radio today. I can't remember what I was listening to, but he's out there for the full 2 minutes sometimes and getting nothing done. So they're 3 points out right now. If they fucking played whoever on the I'm not going to pretend to be a Capitals fucking genius here, but if they played Jake Winters instead on a power play, a goal here, a goal there, because they actually have a -9 goal. I did read this. They have a -9 goal differential. If they had 15 goals out of Ovechkin, what would the record be? They probably have more wins. But since Ovechkin's not getting it, it's obvious he's not going to do it. They got to go somewhere else. If you're only 3 points on a playoff spot with a negative goal differential, you're in pretty good shape. Like if you get a goal here, a goal there, that's nothing. Like you win by 2, like it's just math, right? And there has to be some kind of agreement by Leonis and this Carberry guy. Like if you fire me, fuck you. I'm taking this job because I want the job, but you better not fuck me. Like don't fuck me because there's other jobs out there. And like if Tortorella wasn't in Philly, let's just say for sake of conversation, like if Tortorella was the head coach of the Capitals, and then they said Leonis comes down to the fucking dressing room, hey, you got to play Ovi. Like fuck, I do. I don't. I don't, because you know what? I'm here to win hockey games. I know I have this many years as the coach of this hockey team. I'm gonna be fired in 3 years. Like I know this, or 4, or whatever it might be, because that's what my
look at my track record.
That's what my track record is. That's what my lifespan's always been. I need to win hockey games because I'm not going to get fired in year 1 because that guy's not scoring. That guy's not scoring. You're not blaming me. I will get this team through 3 or 4 years and then fire me, because that's what's happened. So if it's funny, you wonder if Tortorella was the coach, if Ovechkin would be seeing 15 minutes of ice time a night. He's still getting 23, 24 minutes of ice time a night.
For sure. And then I got to think, that NHL coaches aren't stupid. Any professional coach isn't stupid. They know what Washington Capitals want. Before winning, before anything else, they want Ovi to get that record. So they know anytime Ovi is on the ice, it's going to flow through him. And now they knew that 10 years ago, but now that he's lost a step, he's lost a couple miles an hour on that 1T clapper. it's gonna. I don't know why I like saying 1T Clapper. It's just a fun thing to say. But nonetheless, they know that, and on the power play, like for sure, like so they got everything set up to give Ovechkin that one-timer, and then we're gonna take that away, and so we'll go 3-on-4 for the rest. But you know what's not gonna happen is Ovechkin getting that one-timer. And then maybe they're so predictable in their offense, and that's why it's giving these rookies a chance to shine and do it by committee, because they become so predictable of what they want, because what they want is not another Stanley Cup. What they want is not making the playoffs. What they want is Ovechkin to get that goal-scoring record more than anything.
Go ahead, Fleur. Sorry, yeah.
Well, no, it's just a thing now because they care more about getting Ovechkin a goal than they do about winning a game.
And that's really shitty for the rest of the players on the hockey club, because let's say if there's a goalie, whoever it might be, in the third line or the sixth pairing defenseman or whatever it might be, they're looking for a contract like to move on and or just stay in the league. And all of a sudden you got an owner, all he cares about is one guy who's 30 whatever years old. Like, well, what about me? Like, I'm here to make money. Might not be with your team next year, might be with another team. Like I said, I'm a free agent, or might be a guy on the back end of his career that might be picked up at the trade deadline to go maybe win his first Stanley Cup. Like putting one guy ahead of the good of your franchise it's a bad move, because because athletes are self-centered, athletes are selfish. There's no and that's how they got to where they are. Like, let's not kid ourselves. Like, that's how they got where they are. They had to do things.
I'm going to disagree with that a lot, but finish your thought.
Like, you have guys who are looking out for themselves. Like, when it all comes down to it, they're looking out for their bank account. Yeah, they may want to win, but if they're not going to win that team, they still want to stay in the league. And if they're on a losing team or a situation where they can't flourish on their own, they're going to want to look for different pastures. And so next year, if this year if the Capitals don't win, which is, they're 3 points out now, so they could, and Ovechkin could start scoring goals. I get that. So, but if they don't win this year, what free agents are going to get next year to have the same fucking thing happening next year? So this is like, these kind of deals are setting the franchise back in a couple of ways, because you're not committing to winning, and you're not giving other players a chance to flourish, because players want a chance to flourish. Like, and they want a chance to make money, and they want everything else. Like, players, athletes are selfish. Like, when they're out on the field, 100%, they're doing the best they can to win championships, to win games for the betterment of the franchise, but also to pad their pockets. And let's not sugarcoat it. The owners are in it for money, and the players are in it for money. There's no let's not fucking pretend that they're not. So, but if they're not given that fucking chance to flourish, then why would they stay there?
Well, the NHL, all the contracts are guaranteed, and once again, I don't know anybody on that team aside from Ovechkin. With all the money they have committed to him, now this is up to, I guess, Ted Leonsis to say, like, what are we going to do here? Because he's now become an anchor, right? They are. They have to, like, they're going to pay him this money whether they want to or not for the rest of this season and 2 more seasons after this. And do you buy him out? Does he say, or does he retire? Or what do you do with someone like this that is hanging on? Not because he's great anymore. It's because he's chasing a record. It's a little bit gross. So when you say these athletes are chasing it all about themselves, like, it can't be any more prevalent than what Ovechkin is doing here right now, because
100%.
he's making more than anyone on the team, and he's not contributing.
Alex Ovechkin
at
has
all.
Nothing to prove. Nothing.
But he's signed. Because
it's a record, whatever.
But now Ted Leonsis as an owner, like, where's the cost benefit in this now? I've given this guy so much money, and he's delivered for me. He's made me a shit ton of money too. But what do I want?
When do we cut ties?
This new, yeah. But then, like, and then when you say too, like, with the athletes being greedy, Barry Sanders retired 4 years.
That's a one-off, man. You can't compare it versus anything.
Well, you just asked for an example, and I gave you one, just right off the top of my head. When players, John Elway's, he could have played 2-3 more years. His last game he ever played.
Last game, Dave. Let's not sugarcoat that.
The last game he ever played, he was a Super Bowl MVP.
Because they won. We've been through this 1,000 times.
Well, I'm just saying, like, look it up. The last game he ever played, he was a Super Bowl MVP.
Quarterbacks normally get the MVP of the Super Bowl when the team wins.
GOAT.
That's fair.
He didn't win. He didn't win the MVP the first Super Bowl they won.
He was going out. He was going out on a high note. One of those things. Let's not sugarcoat. Let's not put candy canes and fucking sugar lanes aglow all over John Elway's fucking path out of the fucking NFL.
I'm just like it is fact. Like that's all I said. I just spit the truth.
I know there's fact. I know there's fact in your statement that his very last game he was the Super Bowl MVP. But let's not sugarcoat and candy canes and silver lane aglow. Like I said, how it got there. There was a lot of that thing was in Santa's sleigh before the game started.
We won't go that far, but nonetheless, we talk about but owners want to make money. They really do want to make money, and Ted Leonsis just wants to make money off of Ovechkin, and this is not how he envisioned this first 30 games of this season going. Like he was thinking, okay, like mid 2024, 2025 season, we're gonna have this record. Ovi can retired, and then I'll give him his fucking gold watch and Ferrari as a going away present. But there's no graceful exit right now at this pace, and from all I've read, like there's no health concerns for him or whatever. Like I don't know if he's checked out. I don't know if he's just
played over his career. He's never got hurt. He plays every game. He's
very dependable.
He's very dependable. Like at what point? Like we talked this a while ago. I can't remember, but like when you're a legacy player, you're a legacy guy. But you know what? That ownership group doesn't owe you a fucking thing. Nothing. And like we talked about, and actually Jim Fan in the Van, he had a very good show today. He was talking about Tomlin. He's a Steelers guy. He goes like, when did the fucking, and we talked about it on Monday night as well. Maybe Jim was stealing our shit. Who knows? But like, when did the Steelers go, Tomlin, you guys start winning here? Like, what do we like? We're just paying you to be here just because you. And
it's only not, as far as that Tomlin thing goes, it's not only not winning. It's just all this fucking drama that's going on.
All the hoo-ha.
Like it's all the hoo-ha. And like and then maybe
like, but unless the owners are jocks in there, for which this Leonsis obviously is with like he likes making money, but with Ovechkin, but eventually like you gotta be like, okay, like you're still an employee, right? And the bottom line says this, and people have I say this 1,000 times. Sports, especially sports fans, we got short memories. Like when guys fucking started depleting, you're like, get that guy at the fucking field because that guy might be better. That guy might be better and everything else. And I don't know what because I don't know one Capitals fan on the planet. I know lots of Ovi fans, right? But I don't know any diehard fucking Caps fans wearing the jersey down the street or a jacket or whatever. But eventually we're like, geez, I'd rather see a playoff run or a win around or something happen than fucking some guy that scores 10 goals when the season's over, right?
Let's pretend you are a Caps fan then. Like, what do you want? Do you want to see the team go better? Or do you want, like, what's more important to you? Like your team, even though they're not a legitimate contender for the Cup, do you want to see them make a push for the playoffs? So in the next 3 years,
I'd rather when Jeter retired, like when Jeter was on his way out, I was like, okay, if he's not effective, I'd rather see my team win because he's already done the stuff, right? There's nothing more the guy can add to his career. Like he's not going to hit 400. He's not going to hit 60, whatever home runs, because that wasn't the player he was. But he's not going to do this and that and everything else. You know what? He's done all he could do. I'd rather like see you later. Like I'd rather see my team win. I'd rather see my team win. Was it nice to see Jeter at the end of it? Yeah, it was. Yeah, the hit at the end, the fairy tale ending, and everything else was great. But at the end of the day, like, fuck, I'd rather see my team win, because you know what? 2 years from now, when he's not playing, he doesn't give a fuck about the Yankees either.
Well, that's an excellent comparison you just made, because that's exactly what Cashman told Jeter when he wanted $35 million, and he said, "No, you're only worth 20. Well, you're only worth 15, but we'll give you 25 because you're Derek Jeter," right? So Derek Jeter wasn't costing his team wins, but he definitely wasn't helping the Yankees win those last 3 years. He was average at best. And he was
just there. He was playing. It was great. It was great to watch. Everything else, yeah.
And would you agree with that?
The Yankees weren't doing anything. Like, they were a playoff team here and there, but they weren't winning anything. So he didn't hurt the team. Didn't help the team.
Well, right? And is that was so like so? Well, yeah. So is Ovechkin hurting the team, or is he just there right now?
He's just there.
He's not right now?
Because hockey's so different, Dave. Because hockey, like, when you're on the power play, you have 5-on-4. You expect to fucking score a goal. Like, you expect to score.
Yeah, so they're changing the game plan.
When it's 5-on-4, the team with 5 should score more. Pretty simple. And they're not, and they have a minus goal differential because of Ovechkin's inability to score.
And you know that totally makes sense.
And that's more on the owner than it is on the fucking coach, because the owner and the GM are guaranteed telling fucking this Carberry guy, fucking, you better play this guy, because it's and Carberry probably agreed to it. Yeah, all right, I want to be an NHL head coach. Well,
and then, like I say, with the one trick pony, like, even throughout, I would be surprised if Ovechkin was a plus player in his entire career. And always, like, top 5, top 10.
Lots of power play goals,
top 1. A lot of PP goals, but like 5-on-5, he doesn't excel. Look at Sidney Crosby doesn't even have a sniff in the goals, but he's 40, 50 points up on him in career for total points, right? It's one of those things. And then also Ovechkin also knows he's going to be judged against Sidney Crosby for his entire career.
They've been linked together forever, right?
And then who's going to pick Ovi as the better player? Even if he gets this record, who's going to rather have Ovechkin on their team than Sid Crosby? I don't know how you can pick Ovechkin. And I'm an Ovechkin hater, and I'm self-admitted. But when you look at it as a leader, as someone with 3 rings opposed to 1 ring, head to head, I don't see how anyone can think Ovechkin is a better player than Sid Crosby.
He's not.
He's not.
He's not.
But Leon's
the greatest goal scorer of all time. And I think that's already, like, even though he's not going to have the record that Gretzky had, because Gretzky was scoring fucking 90 goals on Pat Riggin and who else is in net back, Reggie Lemelin in those days. But so Ovechkin's the greatest goal scorer of all time. I don't think that's disputable. But
yeah,
he's not the player that Crosby is. Not even, and it's not that's not close.
Yeah, not even close, right? And then when
I think Crosby makes everybody around him better. I think he makes his team better. I think he makes the culture better. He's a
better leader. Yes.
Yeah. On like if I take Crosby, even today, if somebody said, Brent, you just won yourself an NHL franchise. Here's a good question. If you got yourself an NHL franchise and you're going to get 3 years out of Crosby, I take that guy to you can take any player you want, anybody.
So if you were the Seattle Kraken,
and if the Kraken, yeah. when they went and they paid their legal dues and their entry fees, whatever it is, because it was last year, right, when they first came in the league.
Yeah, this year's their third.
And you can have any player you want,
player in the league,
and they gotta go. I still to this day would take Sidney Crosby.
How
good he is, the leadership he is, how much he loves win, like how much he strives to win. I still take Crosby at his elevated age, which is only 87. He was born, so he's 36, right?
You call.
I take Crosby every day of the week. Still,
That'd be a hard argument to have. I think maybe someone like Cale Makar would be a better pick going forward as your franchise.
Great player. Who knows who he is?
But I have I have no issue with Sidney Crosby being the cornerstone of my franchise, and then not even that, and thinking forward to after his playing days, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of what he's gonna do, like because when he's all in, like you call yourself a baseball nerd, Sid Crosby is a hockey nerd. He works on his fucking game. That's his fucking hobby. It's his job.
He watches game
hobby.
When his career's over, he'll be the president. Like he'll have a Joe Sakic role somewhere or an Eisman role somewhere. Probably in Pittsburgh.
I don't know, but
or is he one of those guys? Is he one of those guys who, yeah, I'm good. I'm gonna go and actually have some fun. I don't know.
Done. Yeah. Like I don't know. Like he must jerk off to Bob Cole highlights this
because he's been in.
I don't know.
The World Juniors hockey is up, man. That guy's been in our eyeballs for a long time. A long time.
Like 30 years for you and I, right? Like it's fuck, since he's been 16 we knew his name,
right? So that was in
now he's
2003, the first World Junior that one in 2004, the one that was in North Dakota that he was on that team,
the strike year. So that was 2004, right?
Yeah, and then that team just fucking wiped through everybody, and Ovechkin was on that Russian team that
was on the Russian team that got
shit out of it.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
and so yeah, like, do you think that Crosby's going to be like that? Yzerman, Sakic, and those guys who would just stick around. Shanahan's another one. Like I've never understood that. Like it's not so much. We talked about before how I'm a great hockey player, so now I'm an NHL executive, which is weird. But if you're a hockey nerd, you learn the business, right? And you figure it out. But I've always kind of like once you're done playing, especially when you're great. And Sakic and Eisman were both really great, obviously.
Great, but like not Gretzky, right?
But like Gretzky was so, and that's why I don't want to say failed, but that's why he couldn't succeed as much as the others in the business, because he went into coaching and we'll just do this. Well, I can't do that. Like I can't do that. Like you're telling the Bizanet from the Spit and Chickles was on that Phoenix team. Like it's like, why is Wayne Gretzky? What's he going to tell him? Like I can't do that.
Just do this. Like you got to see it. You can't see that. No, I can't.
I can't see that.
Yeah.
Like you're Wayne Gretzky, so I'm starstruck for starters. And like I can't physically see what you see. I don't know the game that well. You can't teach that stuff. You wonder if guys, and you can't teach work ethic. Like Crosby has that work ethic, right? You can't teach that. You can't teach that love of the game. You can't. In my opinion, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but
well, it's not even just a love. It's going deeper. Like Wayne Gretzky, obviously, no one can even think about questioning his talents and his accomplishments on the ice. But like you say, when you're off the ice, Lemieux, Gordie Howe, Bobby Orr, Mike Bossy, like all these guys, none of them ever went into this. This is kind of a newfound thing. Like more often than not, it's the GMs and coaches were either minor leaguers or people that were role players in the league, right?
Yeah.
And the fact
plumbers in the league, I guess they used to call them,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but superstars like Yzerman and Sakic succeeding, that's kind of a new thing. And even like it makes me wonder, and I'm not saying education is everything, but like there's a lot more to running a hockey team than understanding how a hockey team is assembled. Like being a GM, I've said it before on different podcasts, that I would love to spend a day with an NHL GM, any sports GM, and seeing actually what the day-to-day is. Like, what is on your fucking plate? You know, I have no idea. Because you're running so much shit, like your minor league stuff, your coaches, your per diems,
The analytics,
whatever.
the fucking
And
the
analytics,
salary
and
cap,
what are we
the-
going to do?
Holy
Oh
fuck,
my
man.
God. And then never mind kissing ass to the owner and the sponsors and trying to sell sweets and doing this. Like, holy fuck. I couldn't even imagine running your talent evaluators. Like, so where are we looking for the draft? Where are we looking? Do we need more scouts in Switzerland and the European thing? Where are we finding players? How can we find these? The list would be endless, and never mind fucking taking care of your wife and kids back at home, because they're younger than me, for fuck's
And then
sake.
lose 2 in a row and start all over again. Like, oh fuck, now what are we gonna do?
And Jesus Christ, now like who's this? And now this guy's hurt. And now this guy's
And that's why I don't understand why guys who have these long NHL careers. I understand loving the game. I get it. But
married to the game. They
from
have a
afar,
family, but they're married to the game.
Yeah, like I get it, but I don't. Like, these guys have fucking hundreds of $1 million in the bank. Like, Jesus, fuck, let's go enjoy it. No, like, I mean, I guess, but it's always been your life. But man, oh man, like, there's got to be another. Like, I don't know. Yeah, it's odd.
I don't know either, but like just the drive to succeed and just being so in love.
But they've already won. Like, it's not like Eisman doesn't have rings. It's not like Sakic doesn't have rings. It's not like.
But you can't imagine. They cannot imagine their life without hockey being the dominant force, because it's been the dominant force since they've been 10 years old.
And there's a lot more. Like, again, as an advisor with the Flames now, like, there's a lot more of these star players who are sticking around. It's odd. It's odd. Maybe the problem is that these guys' wives are always moving to new houses. They don't want to be around to help move.
If I gotta pack one more
fucking time, if I gotta move that fucking dresser 6 more inches to the right, fuck off.
And could you imagine the ego room those guys have?
Oh,
holy shit. I've been in a couple houses just here in Lethbridge of people that have had successful hockey careers, and they have a pretty decent ego room, and they're not near as successful as a Neisman or a Sakic. Like, holy shit, they ain't wrapping it up in corrugated cardboard. They're, oh Jesus Christ, I couldn't imagine their moving costs, and it's not like they're moving across like 2 minutes down the road. They're moving to another city, to another huge fucking house.
Well, it's funny you talked about that, because we looked at another place over in I can't remember where it was, and over by Southside Tire there. What's that area about?
Oh yeah, Southridge, Fairmont.
Yeah, Fairmont.
Yes.
And fuck, I sat down last night and I was beat. And I sat down and I fucking like, oh. And I said at the end, could you imagine if we got that place over in Fairmont there? That's 20-some minutes one way.
One way. Yeah.
Back and forth and back and forth. Yesterday, I was making fucking back and forth trips in 9 minutes unloading boxes, because it's only 2 minutes away, right? Bing, 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 bing. Like, we'd have nothing done. Yeah, so it worked out well, and we probably wouldn't be talking as much as we were today if that was the case. But Jesus Christ, yeah,
I would have been doing some helping more, like, so then you can do it with a big truck. Because, like I said, we could have taken care of that whole garage yesterday, brother. But no,
I didn't want to take you away from your family and everything else, because it's no. Thank you very much for helping us, but no, there's work to do. But not now. It's the fun stuff. Right now, it's the fun stuff, hanging things and putting stuff up where you want to look and everything else. So it'll be making more holes in the walls and everything, whatever. But it's mine, so whatever. It's a fuck. But yeah, it's funny. Dave, if you were, because even Elway, he's the part of the Broncos, right?
Not anymore, but yes, he was. Go ahead.
If you want to, like, Peyton Manning did it the best, eh? On TV, makes commercials, fucking whatever, at his own leisure. That's how I would be, personally.
I think so, because he has his own. Yeah,
I will pick and choose what I want to do.
Yeah,
I don't want to have to go to the office. Like I worked my ass off. I made a fucking $500 million. I'm out, man.
He owns his own production company, right? So I think Omaha Productions, I think they were integral in that. It was his production company that did that quarterback series on Netflix, and they do their Manning cast and stuff like that, right? So he's making money hand over fist. And even Daryl from the commissioner of my fantasy league, we had him on that day.
Yep.
And he was at a trade show in Phoenix, and Peyton Manning was the keynote speaker, right? I have no idea what it cost Peyton Manning to give a 20-minute speech to 1,000 guys or people, guys, men, women. But I'm guessing it.
I think it's a fairly male demographic at one of those.
Yeah, but I'm guessing it's closer to $100,000 than $10,000 for 20 minutes of his time, right? Yeah. So it's what you want to do, and he Peyton Manning, it seems, quite at ease with himself, and he's not interested in being a coach or a GM. Maybe he is, but then why not just do what he's doing and just fucking raking and having fun with actually no pressure whatsoever.
Can't get fired.
If it works or it doesn't. Yeah, I'm my own boss. I'll do some different things. Either it works or it doesn't. I'll speak at a convention. I'll gotta be.
Let's keep going here, but you got like you would have to fucking have some big stones, because I think the Eisman contract it just wore out in Tampa, right? It just kind of just went away, and he was going to move.
Well, I think the Detroit. I think he always wanted Detroit,
to go back to Detroit, right?
And
And now that Sakic's had a lot of success in Colorado, won a cup. They got a very good team right now. You would have to have some fucking big stones as the owner of any of those franchises that you have, that with the likes of Shanahan and Sakic and Eisman, and now that you have Calgary with Iginla's there, and Iginla will one day probably be the GM of that team, because now that Craig Conroy's are, because actually, you know what, Conroy's a pretty big star in Calgary, because he's not at the level of those guys, obviously. But you would have to have some pretty big stones as an owner to fire a team legend. Like that's a gutsy move. Say, yeah, we made a decision as an ownership group to move away from Steve Yzerman or to move away from Joe Sakic. Like the fan base would be like, what the fuck? How do you move away from that guy?
I wouldn't necessarily say that, right? Because Daryl Sutter is a team legend as a coach in Calgary, and they let him go because they simply fucking had to. The Chicago Bears had to fire Mike Ditka. Like sooner or later, and the clock is definitely ticking on Belichick and Tomlin. There comes a time when there is only so much goodwill, and we have to turn the page.
But I'm talking about players. Like I'm not talking about the coaching, like coaches.
Oh, okay.
Like coaches fucking come and go, whatever. Who gives a fuck? And a lot more coaches should get fired. But when a legendary player who's won championships with that team, and all of a sudden like, yeah, we're gonna move on from Joe Sakic. But Joe Sakic probably has an expiration date on. Like he'll tell you, or his wife will tell him when they're moving on, right? Like those guys have those jobs forever. They're not leaving anytime soon.
As executives now, you're talking about, right? Yeah. You're probably right, but you say that about Sakic. What about Belichick? You would think he would have that job forever, but there is.
When he wasn't a player. I'm talking players, guys who play.
Okay. So I get you. It's like so making
coaches,
the transition.
Fans don't love coaches. They like he's the coach. Fans love players, and especially legendary players. So once that player decides to become management and becomes a GM, and
succeeds.
They have a contract for life, and if an owner ever fucking decided to go away, one of these ex players, there'd be mutiny.
To kind of switch it up, as we're talking, as we're talking about players that make the transition from the field, ice to the head office. We said Sid might be one of those guys to follow in the footsteps of Yzerman and Sakic. Does anyone ever see Ovechkin possibly leading a team as a GM or president? Absolutely fucking not. So that says another thing about the man, Ovechkin. I think he's a fucking meathead that's really good. He's I would rather have Gronkowski lead be a GM of my football team than Ovechkin be a GM.
I'd rather have Gronkowski the GM of my hockey team than Ovechkin fucking GM of my hockey team.
Right? And I don't know if that's just a language thing or a Russian thing or a personality thing, but he's a fucking meathead that is a physical specimen and knows that he's a fucking robot that can score goals.
It's hockey's a different beast, right? Because many the European guys don't get many chances. There's the European GM in Columbus,
Kekalainen.
Yeah, and then now you have Daniel Alfredson, who's an Ottawa Senators legend. He's there on there. The hockey director. Now he's assistant coach. He's fired the coach. He's one of those guys now. European guys don't get the chance in the National Hockey League to jump into that. It's such an old boys club that's very opinionated about who the old boys can possibly be, and they don't swim very well. Is what I'm getting at. They don't come from overseas very often, which is odd because there's been our lifetime, Dave. There's been European players forever in our lifetime, right? And not many of them get a chance to become. It's not a prejudice thing or a racist thing. It's just they just don't get a chance. Or maybe they just don't want to.
Yeah, exactly. That would be what I would guess because they're as a general rule.
How many players just retire and go back to Sweden early?
Yeah, I would make the argument that they're actually more well-rounded. And then, so I've made my money. I have it. I want to be home and live close to my family. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. And they're usually, I will say usually, I would guess that they're fairly involved with hockey in their home country and take on a role that they're comfortable taking on, which is a lot less stress. I do find the Swedes to be the most well-rounded individuals all the time. They give great interviews. Their English is damn near perfect. I don't know how they figured that out more than anybody else. And that old joke we always say is fuck that. I think Sweden, the product they show me on TV, regardless of the sport, they're always
very classy,
well behaved, right? You don't
very
hear
classy.
any scandals, and I don't know what they're doing back home either, right? Because I imagine there's some.
Oh yeah, you hear some old Matty Sundin. He had a good time. Yeah,
I imagine
back in the day. Actually, there's a thing on I think it's Netflix. I can't remember which one it was, but on Salming. I'm gonna watch that one when it's tomorrow. I'll probably watch tomorrow down here, getting everything set up. But
you don't have time to watch. You got fucking shit to do. We'll talk.
I have time. I'm gonna. Get the tavern all set up. It's. No, the only problem with Swedes is too many Swedes will never fucking win, right? It's one of those.
See, and I laugh at that every time, but I disagree. I think Sweden is they're
great. They're classy as hell. They are.
Superior athlete to population, and
they're always dressed nice and well spoken and everything. No, it's
fucking and kicking ass, right?
Yeah.
They're not always the toughest, but they'll beat you 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
I won't say 9 times out of 10, but you know what I'm saying. They're elite. Who has a bad word to say about Henrik Lundqvist?
Nobody.
Peter Forsberg is one of my favorite NHLers of all time. Fuck that guy.
Great player.
Good.
At one point
good.
for a 5-year span, he's probably one of the top 2 players in the world.
power forward, right? Like, but like not in a bash yourself against the glass. It's just like I have the puck, and no one can take it away from me. It's gonna take 3 of you to get the puck off my stick, and when that third one comes in, I'm gonna lay it off for Sakic to bury it.
Have you seen him lately? He's got wire rim glasses. He looks like fucking Dahmer from that documentary. I'm not being funny, because he was at the Hall of Fame game in Toronto back in November. He looks like fucking Dahmer from that documentary. Like, it's fucked up. Like the fair hair, the whole thing. Like, holy fuck. It was odd.
I would know. I'll look it up. But no, like, yeah. Well, like I said, Forsberg, I saw him play live. And it was just amazing how one player can hold the puck on his stick as long as he wanted. He wasn't a threat to score, but he possessed the puck as long as he
guys away and just
big, huge ass, push it away. Yeah. He felt like he used. Yeah, he was an amazing player.
Oh,
and then like him and Sakic were one of the best. Like when those two were on the ice together, that there's a goal. There's a goal. There's
no stopping those guys. Anyways, Dave, I gotta go for a piss. We'll go and we'll call this half a second, and we'll come back for a little bit of Yuletide or Christmas flavor or whatever we got going on.
Ready? Yeah, go shake the dew off the lily. I don't know. Did they give you fresh rolls of ass wipe? Was every roll?
There wasn't a fucking piece of paper in this house.
Moving the house and it's just a cardboard tube on every.
Not even a tube, man. Like wherever was.
No shit tickets.
Not a shit ticket in sight. Fuck me. So we made sure when we're going back and forth. There was a couple times like, oh yeah, don't forget those ones. Yeah, you never know. But I'm only a morning person, like the morning constitutional. But that's.
Well, still, it doesn't matter when you do it. You need a couple of shit tickets to make it work.
Girls need them every time, right? But there wasn't a ticket in sight. It's going to a Billy Joel concert in New York City, not a ticket in sight. And there's a 1420 Sports Bar podcast, 4 Beer Sports Talk, and a whole lot more. This segment was brought to you by SeatGeek.com and the SeatGeek app. Use promo code 1420pod at SeatGeek.com, and then get yourself $20 off your first purchase. There is still time to get your stocking stuffer and holiday tickets over there at SeatGeek and save yourself $20 in the process, because who doesn't like saving money at this time of year? Is your Christmas shopping done, Dave?
There is a couple things I'm going to buy tomorrow, and then it is done.
Yeah, it's. I was laughing about. I was walking somewhere earlier on today, going to a store, and somebody said, "Have we got for everybody?" And I got thinking, if you have to think you got for everybody, the people who you haven't thought about probably don't deserve something, or you didn't want to get them something in the first place. So you know what? You're done. You're done. I should have said that to that person, but I was like, they wouldn't have got what I was saying. Right.
And then you think like, because everybody like, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want in my family? And
nothing.
And well, you don't want anything, but you gotta look. You gotta look because people want to buy you something.
Yeah. It's pretty.
And then I found something today, and it was like $25.99, and I sent it out to the thing, and then I heard back. I said a little thing. It's $70 on Amazon. I go, it's $25, but like it was I was on an American site, and then this. I was like, oh fuck. So sorry. I'm trying. I'm fucking trying.
Underwear and socks. Actually, not socks. I want underwear.
Well, underwear and socks, and that's what I said to Kaylee too. And then, but like I have 2 full bags. Yeah. I have like honestly a dozen of underwear and a dozen pair of socks still in original wrappers in the closet.
Yeah,
right?
just packing up the dresser a couple 3
I gotta start giving shit away.
Socks, holy!
I gotta,
I wear socks like 4 times a year, man. Like, holy, what are those fucking socks for?
Oh no, I wear two pairs of socks a day. Yeah, I wear 2 pairs of socks a day. My feet, when I got older, my feet started stinking a little bit, so I constantly change my socks.
You got something in common with Deanne. Anyways, 1420 Sports Bar podcast, 4 Beer Sports, talking a whole lot more.
Are you thinking of going to a game or a concert in the coming days ahead, or do you already have tickets and want to upgrade where you're sitting? It's simple. Go to SeatGeek.com or the SeatGeek app. They have tickets for all sports going on right now, as well as concert tickets to shows throughout North America. And to make things even better, use promo code 1420POD, that's 1420POD, and receive $20 off your first purchase. Once again, that's promo code 1420POD at SeatGeek.com or the SeatGeek app.
The 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, for beer sports talking a whole lot more. Dave, lots going on. It's the holiday season. We've had a great year here at 1420 World Headquarters. We surpassed we've had our most downloads ever that we've ever had. YouTube thing is kind of kicking in just in the last 4 months. We got that going along. So lots going on. Lots to be thankful for this Christmas season. Lots, and now we kind of just relax. There's still sports going on, but this time of year where you know what, the podcasts are great and it's fun to get out there, but sometimes you just got to just turn the mic off a little bit and just relax a little bit and look back on the accomplishments of the show and the other people that helped us get to where we are a little bit and hopefully we've helped them get to where they are in their podcast journey, I guess they call it. But quite the year here with 1420 the 1420 World Headquarters.
It's been a fun year. Like we are growing. We're not making a living on this yet, but you know the numbers speak for themselves, and we like to thank everybody on every aspect that has done anything to get us to one more view or one more listen, and that's fun, and it's encouraging to know that it's not just about us. It's a bit of a community that you and I are building here, and it's fun and it's nice that we have this time right now with a natural break with Christmas. I don't know when we're going to do it. We might fit one in on Boxing Day. Boxing Day is the 26th for all our American listeners. I don't know if you guys even celebrate.
I don't know what day it is right now. Fuck me, man. Like the 26th. I
believe it's the 21st. Right, so
Thursday,
we have a Thursday, and the way the holidays are landing, it's going to be some nice breaks for me at work, and then some time with my family. I'm really looking forward to it, and the fact that there's no snow here in Southern Alberta, it's unbelievable. I don't remember in my 53 years.
A year ago today, Dave, me and my mom and Deanne we drove to Calgary to jump on an airplane and go see my sister, and it's minus 40, and we parked in whatever lot and dropped but the walk from the lot to the terminal, I didn't think I was going to make it. Like, it was that cold. Like, it was awful. And I used to work construction, so I know cold. But I've never felt like that day. The wind, things, and it was horrible, man.
For our American listeners, minus 40 Celsius.
It's minus 40.
Is minus 40 Fahrenheit. That's where those two scales
where she all lines up.
Meet at minus 40. So that's PFC.
I couldn't believe it.
Fucking cold. Yeah.
And now today we were plus. Yesterday we were plus 12 at one point. So it's a 50-degree temperature change.
It's ridiculous. It's abnormal, and I want to be grateful, but whatever. We're not going to get into this whole thing of why it might be so warm, but nonetheless, it's going to be nice to take some time off and spend some time with my family at the home, and just do our thing and not have to worry about shit that outside the walls. It's going to be inside the walls. We're gonna find out pretty darn quick if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'll let you know next time we record.
It's all fine, Danny, but Jasper and Kaylee are right there. Fuck me.
247 is a good thing or a bad thing.
If you leave for 7 or 8 hours a day, son of a bitch, you're right there.
247 on the road we've done for a week at a time, but like 247 within the home walls, we're gonna find out. But I am gonna say this: I'm looking forward to having some time off with my family, doing things together in the house. And that's all I have to say.
I think the biggest thing with that, Dave, is to not like, you wake up, like you have your routine, like pre-work routine. You wake up, you have a shower or whatever, you have your coffee, make your lunch, out the door, right? Or whatever your routine is. But then we can just go, I'm going to have my coffee in front of that TV, and you know what? I might not have to move for 2 hours.
Yeah, I'm going to grab a book.
I can just sit here. I don't have to be anywhere right now, especially in the holidays when you've already have all your groceries and your things and your stuff. I can just sit here. I'm good. Yeah, no, it's great.
It's nice not to do anything.
I wish I had that. I'm looking around. Jesus.
Well, that's your choice.
You know what? We have a herd coming here. We're putting them to work.
Well, when they arrive, just between now and then, I hope to come by and I guess there's no babies to kiss, but definitely shake some hands and have
Saturday will be it. Saturday's I think Saturday we'll have everything pretty damn near. Pretty damn near. When we were on our little break up there, I went upstairs. So Deanne, she really there's empty boxes. There was nothing when I came downstairs to first start going. Went upstairs there, and there's empty boxes everywhere. So she's Jesus.
She's on it.
Well, yeah, she misses that step. That step.
Well, that's what you do with your mate, right? Like, it's like you agree on 90% of the stuff, and the 10%. Right. And that's what I said, like, to everybody about, like, well, how do you know if you find the right person? It's find someone that can put up with your bullshit, and they can put up with yours. And trust me, we all got bullshit.
We all got bullshit. Dave, let's do a would you rather. We'll give our holiday greetings and get the fuck out of here for the night.
Okay, so my would you rather is, and I'm going to put this out to you and Jim, our friend from Fan in the Van, Jim Plotner.
Jimmy P.
Would you rather the Yankees be 10 games up on August 10, or would you rather them being 10 games out and have Cashman fired?
10 games up.
10 games. A sizable lead. In late August.
Or so you got a chance. You're in the playoffs, right?
Oh, for sure you are. Like, it's not a guarantee, but it's definitely a guarantee. Yeah.
Something's got to go fucking really horribly wrong for that to happen.
Or 10 games down on the same day, let's say August 10, and Cashman finally gets fired.
I'm at a point now that I actually know that man's not getting fired. Like, he's a sack like I just talked about last segment. He's just not. So we might as well just accept it, right? And so if you're gonna win, you might as well win, because he ain't going nowhere.
Well, so we talked about this earlier. Like, is he unfireable?
He's unfireable. Like, there's not many guys on the planet who are unfireable. He's one of them.
So like he surpassed Belichick and Tomlin of the unfireables.
Yeah.
Who's more unfireable in sports than Brian Cashman? Anybody?
Jesus, I can't think of anybody.
What about
What
about Shanahan in Toronto?
Shanahan, he reeled himself in a situation where he went above the GM situation, and he's best friends with that Tannenbaum, who's the head of MLSE. So there's a good chance that Shanahan's probably the most unfireable guy in North American sports, because he fucking usurped the whole fucking situation and said, oh, you know what? I'm going to go above the GM spot. I'm going to become the president of this operation. And I'm going to be friends with the guy who actually is not the owner, but you know what I mean? He's the
one calling the
CFO or CEO or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it's Yeah, like Shanahan ain't getting fired. Cashman's never getting fired. Never.
Even if they're 10 games out.
Never.
Oh, okay.
Like he kept the Yankees relevant this offseason by being on this sweepstakes, and they went on and got Soto. I did my job. Now it's Boone. It's the analytics guys, right? Cashman ain't getting fired. Never. If he get fired last year, he's not getting fired this year. Like last year was awful, and he get fired.
But they still made the play. Oh no, yeah, they did make the play. Oh no, they didn't.
They were one game above 500, or two, I guess, 82 and 80. So
yeah, that's right. Okay,
he's never getting fired.
It's all the only.
There's a better chance of me firing you or you firing me from this stupid fucking podcast than Brian Cashman getting fired. We have never signed any kind of agreements or contracts or anything else. But if I were to fire you or you were to fire me, that would make more. That would happen way sooner than fucking Brian Cashman getting fired. 100%. I'm telling you.
Your services are no longer needed.
Go, you know what? Brent's fucking shitty at fucking this podcast thing. Fuck him. I'm firing him. That would happen way before Steinbrenner waking up and go, yeah, I think we're done with Brian Cashman. I'm telling you.
Do you think it's more possible that, say, San Diego, like at the end of Cashman's contract, says, hey, would you, like, if we give you like $10 million a year more, would you come over to San Francisco or to San Diego? Do you think it's more likely that he leaves the Yankees than the Yankees fire him? Or he's Yankee, like he'll never leave? I don't think he can do that. Would he?
He can't leave. What are you going to?
Leave. Well, let's say that
he's young. It's not like he's going to build. It's not Theo Epstein fucking winning a championship in fucking Boston. Like name a franchise that he could possibly go to in Major League Baseball that hasn't won one in 50 years.
The Padres.
He ain't.
But that guy. No, the Padres said the Mets. The Mets.
He ain't going to. He's not going to go to the Mets.
He doesn't even have to fucking move. That would be awesome. See, Theo Epstein says, I want him at. Oh, that would be awesome. If the Mets could hire Theo Epstein. I think Theo Epstein is the greatest manager in Major League Baseball history. And he's only done it for 15 years.
Yeah, the Cubs. And then
the Boston and the Cubs.
Boston and the Cubs. I mean, that just changed everything, right?
250 years of jinxes.
What would make that the trifecta for me, Dave, if he went into Cleveland with that low payroll? If he could make that, if Theo Epstein could go into Cleveland with the Guardians now, as they're called, if he could win a world championship there, and it's been 90 some years now. Because they when in 16 when the Cubs won.
I think they're the longest, right?
Because they were at 85 years themselves at that point, whatever it was, right? So if he could go into Cleveland, that'd be the trifecta. And just do it. What does Theo Epstein's what's it hurt if he gave it a shot?
Well, you know what? Or go and Shanahan hires him and he breaks the leaf stretch.
Going to fucking
going to hockey.
Toronto. Yeah, fucking. I'm a hockey GM now. Watch how easy this is. Go get better players.
GM's a GM. I'll figure it out.
Fuck. Well, who was that guy? He was a baseball player or a football player into baseball into football. But 2 years ago. The fuck was his name?
Tom Brady?
No. It was he was a player and went to baseball management. He understood we'll talk about the new year, but yeah. Okay. If Epstein would fucking lock that up, that would be kind of cool, actually. to go into.
I think he's the greatest ever.
No, he already is. Like
Yeah.
he did the unthinkable in two spots. Because we talked about this a lot of times, Dave, that we never thought that the Cubs were going to win. Like a good friend of ours, Dersh, he's Brad Dersh. Best luck to you, Brad. But he's a Cubs guy. And we were laughing at him the night you met your wife, actually, at the Bulldog Saloon 20 fucking some years ago, that the Cubs were never going to fucking win. And it took them 15 years after that, or 16 years after that, right?
Yeah. And on a fluke, right? Like Cleveland actually should have won that series, but the Cubs pulled it off in Game 7, and good for them. Fuck that. I cheer for the streaks. I don't want to see streaks end.
How many years is a streak? Like for a team not to win? Because the Oilers are at 33 years now, right? 90 was their last
one. No. Here, how many teams are in the league? And then one more than that. So in hockey, it would be 32. 32.
So the Oilers are on a streak now.
Yeah. So like it would be 30 for like, because every team.
So the Jays are on, because there's how many 30 baseball teams? 32. So the Jays,
right.
The Jays won in 93. So they're 2 years away from a streak. So if every team had a chance to win,
exactly,
that's what a streak is.
Yeah. And I just made that up this very second, but
that makes sense.
There's 30 teams, like, so every time every team has a chance to win. So once you've skipped your turn, then now it's your turn. It's your turn. And if you don't take your turn and someone else takes your turn, then you're on a bit of a bad streak. Right? So one of the Pittsburgh Pirates are clearly on a streak. The I want to call them the Indians. Cleveland wants to be on, like, they're on a streak for as many teams there are, because, like, why not?
So the Chicago Bears are on a streak, obviously.
The Bears, so that was 86.
Dallas Cowboys are close to being on a streak.
The Cowboys are close to being on a streak.
I like that analogy. I really do. I like that analogy a lot. That if you haven't gone through the entire cycle where every team had a chance to win, you're on that cycle. I like that.
Yeah.
We got to find a way to word that not so impromptu. We're going to find a word that and utilize that, because that's 100% true.
Because, if there's 30 teams in the league, everybody should win a title once in 32 years.
Fuck.
Just one.
Because when was the Habs? The Habs was 93. So the entire country of Canada is on a streak for
the entire country of Canada is on a streak
for Stanley
right?
Cups.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. Like in the CFL, right? It's only a 10-team league, and teams have gone on 40-year streaks in that.
Yeah,
so
the Rough Riders, they won that one in 1989, I think it was.
Yeah,
Dave Ridgway.
And that was in they had.
And that was they had the Saskatchewan Rough Riders hadn't won in fucking 40 years. It was 8 teams. Oh, those Saskies. Anyways,
they love their team though.
Yeah, Dave. Let's wrap her up here and say our Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's and Happy Holidays to all our podcast friends out there. We made some pretty good friends over this year. Let's say hi to some of those guys and wish them Merry Christmas, and that you got something on your mind.
Well, it's just I call it our our podcast family, and I'm gonna call them out right now. I'm gonna first of all start with Garrett and Jalen at Two Dudes with Sports News. Living in the South, you're not used to snow. We are. We don't have any. I'm assuming you guys don't. Unfortunately, I can't really wish you guys that much sports luck going forward, because Jalen, if I remember correctly, you're tied to the sports media Seahawks guy and a University of Alabama guy. I'm a Michigan boy, so sorry, Jalen. I wish you all the best over the Christmas holidays, but I can't really root for your guys, especially considering that my boys in blue have to play you guys on New Year's Day.
Michigan's on a streak.
We're gonna find out.
Even with the 278 college football teams there are, Michigan's on a streak.
Here's hoping so, and we will talk again before New Year's Day.
47, I think, since they won a national championship.
1947. No, they won in, I want to say 89 or 90, or even 91. Like I don't know when. Yeah, for sure. They won. We'll look it up off air. And then also, you know what? Who's going to look it up? Garrett, because you're the stats guy. Because even when you're on, you're good. You're good. That's not what Brent and I do with we're a little bit fast and loose with facts and like I think and I heard. But the
only facts we get are from our main man Tim Monteith, our fact checker. Not in the payroll yet, but one day he'll be our old Timmy Monteith. He'll be
shout out to Tim.
Yeah.
And then Garrett, like I think your Jags are going to be able to host a game and then maybe win a game as long as it's not against my Broncos, which I don't think are going to make the playoffs. So Merry Christmas to our Southern friends.
There we go.
Garrett and Jalen at Two Dudes. I want to give a shout out to Aaron and at this iteration of Brutally Honest, it's Joey. I hope we get to talk to Joey 6 months from now because you might have another host by then because Aaron, you're the constant and you're busting your hump and I dig you, man. And I dig you too, Jim. Don't take this wrong. But you are the third host since we've been friends with Aaron. And Aaron, have some optimism, brother. I get it. Your Nittany Lions are always letting you down, and now your Eagles are super letting you down. So maybe it's you. Have some optimism, Aaron. Want them to win.
The Eagles The Eagles are frauds. Maybe it's just the state of Pennsylvania.
Maybe this year it might be the state of Pennsylvania.
Might just be that.
Level the playing field. Our boys in Toronto are only other Canadians. Congratulations to you guys.
John and Dave make me laugh.
They make me laugh too.
I gotta.
Dave, you're so fiery, and John is so calm. Fuck, you're calm, John.
I gotta have a little chat with Dave about what I said and what he heard. We're two different things, but whatever. We'll get into that. We'll get Dave on. Maybe Newer, maybe Kristen Newer. We'll have a little chat about the Ohtani talk and how that all went out because I know for sure what he heard and what I said were two different things.
Did you listen to that a couple ago, or he was so angry about Ohtani fucking like that?
And then he said some things that it made me chuckle. I wasn't upset because whatever, it doesn't much matter. But we'll talk.
It doesn't much matter at all. But it's good and it's funny. Like John is so calm. So calm.
Very, very calm.
And he's calm to a point that I don't understand, but that's good. And I like listening to you guys, and I'll continue listening to you guys forever. And thank you for being our podcast friends. And also to our main man, Jim Plotner, the Nostradamus of Long Island, the cigar smoking motherfucker in the van, hiding out, trying to get around the blocking of the work computers, putting his shit out. You're putting a lot more content out right now, Jim, and I don't listen to Cigar and Sports. I did.
I watched it on what was it, Friday night? I think I watched that. Yeah, no, it's good. It was like they get fired up. Him and E-Man get fired up. The Average Joe Sports Store. No, it was a really good show actually.
But as far as you and the shit that you and Garrett are putting out and your everydays, I appreciate the shit out of it. I download Cigar and Sports. But
Yeah. No,
I haven't listened.
Give it
to
a watch
the
actually on YouTube. It's actually I get a kick out of it.
I don't have time to watch, so I got time to listen, but I don't have time to watch, and that's my problem.
Fan, he gets fired up. He had a good show today. Like I quite that. It wasn't a good show. It was a great show. He made me laugh. I had a laugh. Had him in my ears today. So no, I agree with you. Like we're all out there trying to put shows together at the Christmas season and everything else, and we do it the best we can. And we with support of each other, and we get different ideas from each other's shows, and it only helps that we support each other. And then you talk to friends about put this one out there, listen to this and listen to that one, right? Like no one's getting rich off this ordeal, but we're all trying to find the next step. So it's a lot of fun, and having support of other podcasters out there. And the four shows that you mentioned there that we've been friends with for a couple of years now, which is crazy. It's longer than most relationships I've ever had in my life, other than the one I'm in now. So it's crazy. Guys you've never laid eyes on other than like on screen, the guys you never shook hands with or everything else. It's how you have a relationship. And sometimes we talk to these guys, whether it be via Twitter or message or here and there. We tend to communicate with these people more than we communicate with other people in our lives, because they get it. They get what we're trying to do, and we get what they're trying to do. So it's greatly appreciated what all these different podcasts, and that's the thing we talked about tonight a little bit, is that support your local podcasters, like us guys. We're giving it a shot, and so over the holiday season, give these guys we just mentioned a shot if you listen to our show, and then if other people just and talk to people about it, because we're just informative, and we're just as, if not more, entertaining, because we don't have the reins pulled on us. I guess we can say what we want to say, and we can say what we believe, and we don't have different groups saying to not say this or not say that. Only the voices between our ears, and maybe our wives say you can't say that on TV. So, or on radio, or whatever it might be. So, no, make sure during the holiday season, if you fan of the van, the Level Playing Field, Tudu Sports News, E-Man, and with the Cigar and Smoke, and listen to those guys' shows, because they appreciate it, and then reach out, because it's a lot of fun. It's a labor of love, but we love doing it. And go ahead, Dave.
And I want to clarify. Sorry, when I say I don't listen to. I meant to say I haven't listened to the latest one that Jim put out today. I listened to I do listen to Cigar and Smokes. I haven't listened to today's, because I know there's one out there in my queue. So I apologize. Don't worry about it, Jim. Don't fucking get that fucking prick he doesn't listen to it. And,
no, Jim.
I do, Jim.
Jim gives a pretty Jimmy Plotner. He gave us a pretty rousing review today on his show today. I got to kick out of it. For some reason today, he it was around noon. I was listening to it today, and he's like, I haven't heard Brent swear that much before on the podcast. I didn't realize I swore that much on Monday night, but maybe I was revved up about something. Who knows?
You know what? I did listen, and I made a point today to try and lower the F-bombs, because both of us on Monday
were a little revved up.
Oh, well, I don't know, revved up. It doesn't take me much to drop an F-bomb, right?
Yeah.
But I also, I have a 13-year-old son, and we're together. He ain't afraid to say fuck either. And who am I? You can't say that. And the days of giving your kid a smack when he swears. It's like you and I, we made a deal on our dog walk, and then that's what we do. We walk the dog together when we can. You and I gotta stop using the F word.
Oh, fuck.
And then
well, so again, we didn't mean to, yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens, and but it's a thing, and I'm an adult, he's not, but obviously I'm setting an example, and I think we had an entertaining conversation tonight, and I don't think we were near the F-bomb level of last.
No, there was a couple here and there that I let spew, but it's one of those things. Wasn't
was it? What's your thing? Intent, content, delivery?
Content, yeah. Not hurting anybody.
Yeah, if you're saying it all the time, it loses its effectiveness. Yeah. So okay,
yeah, it's one of those things. Anyways, Dave, so that's it. We'll call her
I have one more shout out before we go in. Jimmy Valentine, our producer from the West Coast. I so appreciate the work that you do for us. You make us a better product, and I'm looking forward to seeing you this weekend. I'm going to tell this to your face, but I want everyone to know that, you know, for all 20 that are watching and whatever tens and tens of you that are downloading us, which we appreciate every single one of you, Jim, you make us better, and I appreciate it a ton, and I want you to know this, and I want everyone else to know this too.
Yeah, 100%. No, Jim, he saved our show in 68, I think it was, a 3 years ago, and we haven't looked back since. So, no, thank you very much, Jim, for doing that. We'll see. He'll be here on Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, that kind of deal. So we'll have a laugh and a beer and everything else, and so it should be good.
I can bring my guitar. Let me know. Like when I come over for the night. I have a guitar here that hasn't been played in 6 odd years.
He'll teach you a thing or two on the old guitar.
No, I don't want to be taught. I just want to hear him sing. Like, don't worry.
He'll
about
play
it.
it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I just. Your backyard's the new house. It's a fucking mess. So let's just.
I know.
Let's just make a fire. Well, let's just make a fire pit in there and
burn the whole fucking thing down. Start over.
It's 10 above, right around that tree you want to get rid of.
Make it
right where you're gonna put that pitching.
I actually talked with Hub today. I saw him. And I was like, "Oh, it's we're gonna put a pitching on." I said, "Yeah, make point to point. Yeah, good." So we're gonna make that work in the new year once it gets a little.
Did you measure it out? You got the 60.
We have the real estate. We're good. We're good. So there will be a pitching down there come the new year, and probably in April when it's all said and done. Anyways,
no, Dave. Clinics out of your backyard.
Yeah, there's one of the umpire clinics and pitching clinics, one of those, both of them. So, anyways, no, Dave. Well, I'll see you on Saturday, hopefully, and then. But anyways, to you and yours, the best of holidays. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Like, I'll see you face to face. But to all our listeners, thank you very much for everything over the this past year. We appreciate it very much, and hopefully you enjoy the show. Talk to people about our show. Go out and if you're traveling around, that drunk uncle or whoever else, me and Dave are a couple of drunk uncles, so one of those things. So make sure you talk to people about our show, get it out there, and just make sure you have a good time during the holiday season. Turn the TV off for a little bit, put the podcast in your ears, and have a good time and laugh around with us. It's what it's all about. Anyways, the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, 4 beer sports talking a whole lot more. Take care of each other. More important, take care of yourself and you around. Keep you sticking the ice. And what else, Dave?
I'll see you on Saturday. Don't swing at those high pitches, Jim.
There we go. We'll talk to you guys again on, who knows, next week. It'll be next week.
You know.
Is it Thursday? I don't even know.
We'll let you know. You have your automatic downloads. Have a great Christmas, everybody. Honestly, do what you do. Have fun. We'll talk. Enjoy your holiday. And, we'll be in touch before New Year's, and then we'll give our New Year's wishes.
Starting again in the New Year.
Maybe it'll be a little less sappy, but, tell us what you want us to talk about, and we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Christmas is the time to say I love you. New Year's is the time to say I want to love you.
That's a good thing. I mean, did you just come up with that?
I just came up with that.
Well, mine was always Christmas is for friends, New Year's is for Christmas is for family, New Year's is for friends.
Yeah.
But then again, and that's the thing with the Americans, right? Like us Canadians, we get an extra day off with the Boxing Day holiday. So I think Americans do that all at Thanksgiving. You get your turkey dumps, you get your hookups, and then you get your family, and then you get to do whatever you want for 2 days. Whereas here in Canada, like it's all family about Christmas, and then New Year's is just a fine.
Yeah.
So I don't know, right? Like, it seems like Americans cram 2 holidays into one at Thanksgiving.
They're better. They're
Well, I kind of dig our system here right now too.
Yeah.
Because then you get a couple days break and then you get to figure it out with your friends.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said I like their system. Yeah, don't clip that. Don't clip that. There's some American systems that are a little messed up. There's some things that aren't going so well right there. But anyways, have a good night, folks. We'll talk to you again next week.
Good night, everybody.